So if Future Jordan hasn't put whatever the thumbnail is supposed to be, and I'm not thinking of the same thing, then it's not going to make sense. But otherwise, yeah, we're just adding an item, a consumable item, as we get medical history stuff. Again, we're playing on Aaron, just so we can play on Aaron more, because Aaron. But maybe we'll be a bit better as we move on to another character, and hopefully things go well. I think we switch both of these, so, well, switch the random item stats on, but furthermore, for the sake of timestamps, as we get into Aaron medical history, random item stats, 3 custom mysteries, and we receive an order of soft drinks, particularly being these 4 cans of Eld Soft. So, it's a self-explanatory item. However, if there is anything of note to mention, it's that, yeah, when you give yourself certain items at the beginning of a run, especially multiples of it, can change the balance of some sort. I'll mention it more in a bit, but really there's just one big point. Takshisan, second encounter, second mystery, charisma, knowledge, and maybe a dexterity strength check, sorry. And yeah, with 7 charisma, we're working with the thing. I assume this character has fame. It would not make sense for him not to. But more importantly, yeah, so we're gonna run ally attack, and we get 4 cans of these. So essentially, the biggest thing to note, just to get it out of the way, is that essentially they're a little bit better than a rest, but they're not affected by any rest either. Of course, obviously, if you're on an Eldritch Parasite run, you don't get to heal from any consumables, but by that extension, if we're comparing it to the rest option, you don't get to rest. You don't get to rest in an Eldritch Parasite run either. So, as we get Coma, Sailors, Painting, Rental, and Nightclub, actually we're doing 3 custom mysteries, so Arcade, Rental, Nightclub. Yeah, that's 2 boss mysteries I gotta knock out of the park. I guess we might as well do Nightclub now. The thing to note, though, is that, well, if I were to show you in battle, but I'll mention it here just in case I forget, you can't throw these cans. Also, why did I prepare? Well, open up funds, that's fine, but would have liked to not do that. So, would have liked a point in charisma. We lost 1 strength instead, so we'll deal. But, yeah, so you can throw these cans. They only do, like, 1 throw damage. So, at least they're still useful as we grab Iwa here, but you still run into issues of, yeah, what if you're on an Eldritch Parasite run? I think that's the only thing. Shouldn't really be any other effects that really affect your recovery through item use specifically. But there are effects that can affect your rest at home negatively, so that's all I have to say. And then, yeah, as noted, you heal 2 stamina, 2 reason, but then your doom increases by 2. So overall, it is kind of a positive, unless you're in a very high doom run, as we are experiencing here. But if you need the healing, you need the healing. Other small little things to note are that, or is that at least, if we're using that singular first, I don't think I'm grammatically correct here, but it's that if you need to particularly heal like 6 stamina, but your reason is like 1 away from being at max, then it's like, okay, maybe using a consumable, not just a can of Eld Soft. Although, by the way, rolling a 12 on a check that which our stat is 1, hey. But what does that actually do? I never really noticed. But oh, it changed all of our stats to 6. Well, that's actually that hurts us a bit more because we're using thing, but I didn't expect that. So that's the first time I've run into that effect. Well. We also now have the invisibility spell. I assume it occurs in whatever place you investigate. But if I'm wrong, please correct me. That's a crazy status effect. That means that characters who just decide to go crazy, like say you're making a superhero character, yeah. I mean, it kind of makes sense. I mean, it does make sense with the thingamajiggy. But why did all of our stats get reduced by 1? I feel like it had a status effect that I wasn't watching for Aaron. But anywho, let's actually... I mean, we can avoid both of these bosses. So all things considered, we don't have to take it. Still, though, the other 2 mysteries are also filled with, hey, we can avoid something. But all things considered, our charisma... Basically, a character that has a very high stat total. I mean, yeah, you can use a superhero and character and maybe they have like 99 strength, as we fail at 10 on the charisma, so it didn't matter how high my charisma could have been at 9, which it very likely could have been. We would have failed that. But basically, if your stat total is a lot higher than average, then all of your stats are going to be higher on average. So that really just, like, again, actually, if I were to walk it back, if I mentioned it in the negative, If you have 99 in a stat, but all of your other stats are 1, that effect, I assume, unless it just sets all of your stats to 6. I guess that's what I thought was happening. If that's the case, then, okay, it's harmful to characters with high stats in general, but that is quite powerful. Anywho. And I'm pretty sure I'm working with the updated version of this old god as well. But again, I'm not saying this as positive or negative criticism, it's just an observation. However, what we do have to deal with here is a possible... Well, I mean, we're not likely to miss this. If we can hit it, by the way. But if we do miss, sadness happens. Yeah, because after the first turn, we can just do prep ally attack. Now, we do want to increase our charisma, and this character does have fame, so it's very thankful. He's going to have a much easier time if you're rocking ally attack. Note here that I do have 55% Doom, so yeah. And then you take brain damage for that, question mark, but our worry here is that we don't have the Doom. Now, we do have the Monument, but that's not going to save me if my Doom continues to increase out of control, but it's what we'll deal with. Sailor's Coma, and then Rental. So we can fight this boss if I so choose. We're going to find out. I actually want this to ask for funds like 3 times in a row. That would help out immensely. But if it doesn't, we're going to ask for... Oop, I didn't mean to enter that. That was a mistake. I guess we'll get a Molotov cocktail. And we'll just move on. I didn't mean to do that, actually. But it's fine. 50% Doom, pretty much starting our third mystery. It's not great. You can still survive, though. So... And again, we still have, like, all 4... I think we have all 4 cans of Eldsoft. Again, this is a custom item that I made. So, and behind the scenes, all I really did was use the... If this icon seems familiar, it's from when you are selecting the mode. Oh my goodness, 2 stacks of brain damage. That's going to be very bad for Ghosts, by the way. But, what I was trying to say is that, yeah, that icon on the can of Eldsoft is just the icon of that Eldritch symbol when you're selecting your mode. You know, Infinite mode, Story mode, and the currently still unavailable... scenario mode. I didn't say still unavailable as if that was a, you know, I'm making fun of anything. It's just that's literally, it's not available. So, and I think that's been there since like way past even like 0.916, like basically when the game came out. So yeah, not much else to say. We're gonna visit the monument one more time. Yeah, we're gonna trade that off. That being said, so I think I do go pause. No, I break even. What I mean by that is that as we take the reason hit in the face here, I think we should be able to near one-shot this boss. If not, at least we can throw the cans of Eldsoft. That's funny enough. So, we're gonna do that, and yeah, okay, you can skip the boss. Anyway, off we go. We get time skip, that's not great, but we're on our third mystery with less than 60% Doom. That's a lot better than I expected. Although, keep in mind, I did use Monument, like, I did use the Monument 4 times, so... otherwise, these cans of Eldsoft can... So, again, another thing to giving yourself at least multiples of an item, or just 2 items, and even just 2 items from base World of Horror without using the Perm plugin. Yeah, you're able to throw away 2 items in Sailors and or Ramen. Or Ramen, actually. It's not an and. There's no... If you throw 2 items away in one mystery, you don't have 2 items for the next. But it does basically lessen the burden of... it lessens the burden. That period. That should be just the end of the sentence. But... it's very helpful, basically. You either get an extra experience for throwing away items in Ramen because of the thorough investigation, unless you fat finger and don't pick the right option, or you throw away 2 items and you can avoid the boss of Timeline B Sailors. By the way, my strength. We can get rid of this, but would have been great if we didn't have to deal with that. Not really much I can do. Actually, we have to get rid of Mangled Hand first. Never mind. I don't have cans of Eldsoft. What I could have done was... sell a can, because they sell for 1 fund. I mean, theoretically speaking, you shouldn't be able to do that in real life, but in World of Horror, you can sell a lot of items that you don't expect you can sell, unless they're obviously illicit, but you get the point. Sharpening Stone, we don't have anything, never mind. We do want to increase our knowledge, so we'll do that. We can also increase our strength, or dexterity for the lighthouse. I probably should have thought about that as well, but should be fine. Well, yeah, it's... with Aaron the way that Aaron is, we could just end up being in a lot of pain. Also, again, keep in mind that Aaron does grant a lot of items in general. Let's even assume there are only 10 effects that Aaron uses to give you items. That's still a lot. especially again considering I know I use this calculation often, but I think it's theoretically correct. So there are 100 effects that Aaron can give you. Also, Doom increased by 6, so whoops. But yeah. I rolled a 1. But yeah, so keep in mind, so assume there are 10 effects, there are 100 effects, so there's a 90% chance when you hit investigation like just once that you... By the way, did I throw 2 items away? No, I did not. Well, doesn't matter anymore because now we have this encounter. So, not that we have a lot anyway. You can also improv this. How much damage does that do? Okay, it does 3. I was about to say. Also, quick thing to note, when I was testing throwing the cans of Eldsoft, it's really interesting to see. So, base items, you'll see the branch appear. But if I were to pick up that iron pipe again, and I throw this, you see a picture of the steak knife. I mean, theoretically speaking, we can call... It is technically a graphical bug, but we can also just treat it like, hey, you are throwing an item. It's funny because I do believe that the steak knife is a pretty good... example or placeholder or whatever you want to call it of throwing an item because it does pretty high throw damage. It does 5 throw damage specifically, but as for these iron pipes and whatnot, that's quite a good weapon. Yeah, that's quite a good weapon. Being 4 damage, there is I mean, I don't know if anyone who was behind the making of World of Horror, whether it's a developer or otherwise, basically adding the branch and the broken bottles as throw weapons. And I know the branch, well, actually, maybe it only does 3. I don't know now because that's right. I just realized that I am on a a random item stat run. Also, did I ever do the thing? Okay, I did because I know I got ending A because I think the graphic there will show the Mudmen. I don't know what they're called, but if it weren't ending A and you didn't throw 2 items away, you would see basically a possessed human instead, I believe. If I'm wrong, let me know. But otherwise, we started this. Never mind. I was gonna say we started this mystery with 68% Doom. That's pretty good. And then we got game over again. Keep in mind, I got this effect twice in one run, so I am in a lot of pain. I probably got a Doom decrease, all things considered, though. So all things considered, I'll repeat the phrase. It's not bad. Because there are more than a few Doom changing effects that Aaron can give you, so I'm shrugging real life as I say, hey, it's not bad. That being said, my event RNG, on the other hand, is a completely different story. So, what do we do? Fresh meat? This character has that perk pack. I don't want to say the name of the perk, but a perk pack. Also, I just don't remember, but you get the point. Anywho, moving on. Do I dare visit the monument again? Because I don't remember my second encounter. Well, we can. Yeah, we're gonna visit the monument again. And we can't do that, or we die. So, yeah, we're just gonna move on. Now, we will, keep in mind, we will lose 3 reason at the end of this encounter. Oh, can I even fight this? No. We also lost an ally somewhere. Yeah, an ally leaves, so that's pretty specific to ally attack strat. It's not great. We did have a bunch of things to throw. Will it be enough? I'm just gonna do it because I don't want to run from this encounter and just get oofed. So, yeah, we should be able to do 10 damage to one nurse and 10 damage to the other. If that doesn't happen, something is going wrong. Oh, that's right. Oh, we can roll low. Never mind. Never mind. Now, funny enough, we do get the steak knife, but the problem is that we have some Doom issues. Yes. We might also have light check issues, but I'm pretty sure I don't have that. Either way, we have enough stamina to survive. I should have filled the empty bottle, by the way. But, because Aaron can slap us in the face here. Now, for Lucky, the good thing about Aaron, if we're talking about good points of Aaron, Aaron does allow... We don't need this medical kit anymore. Or we might, actually. If we get cut artery at the beginning of this Takushisan, we're going to handcuff. Basically, Aaron still gives you a chance to win or lose, as seen in this exchange here. So, yeah, let's do a thing. This empty bottle is not real for whatever reason, but we will throw this can of Eldsoft, and then we're gonna trade off stamina. Yeah, we're gonna trade off stamina. I'm pretty sure I don't have more than 2 stamina checks. If I do, I'm gonna be sad. Why is that empty bottle not procking, by the way? Anywho, I'm pretty sure that I didn't drink or use a can of Eldsoft and get an empty bottle, right? Anywho. I don't remember my second encounter at all. Let's try to remember for about 15 seconds. I don't even remember off the top of my head which of my mysteries was first. I know it was a custom mystery because I wanted to take Rental, the other boss, well, question mark boss mystery, Rental Arcade. What did I take after? I mean, not that I'm going to remember my second encounter off that. It probably wasn't any these two, though. I feel like I fought Burning Man after because I started improvising. So it's one of these two. Judas? It was. But yeah, I know I took Rental and Arcade at some point. Did I take... No, what? Why do I feel like I played Festival during this one? Well, anyway, we took Nightclub first, now that I see it on screen, so no hiding that. But, I must have done Rental second, because I was like, Arcade... I really don't remember, actually. Did I take Rental third thinking that I might have been forced into a boss? I'm just gonna guess. Okay, 50-50. It's not because those two mysteries are similar. I think those two mysteries are also made by two different creators, but correct me if I'm wrong. I don't remember off the top of my head because there are literally hundreds of custom events I have to remember. That's not an excuse. I should actually remember, but as we thankfully survived Aaron here, yeah, not really much else to say. So, not without taking too much of your time, if you have anything to say, any suggestions, comments, criticisms, anything you want to see in World of Horde custom-wise, perm, plugin, or otherwise, let me know. Otherwise, thank you for watching, and I'll see you later. Bye!